So I'm about to answer the question that I get every day. Deshaun, should I get out of my lease early? I want you to watch this because this video is going to save you thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. If you just digest this information. It's going to be short, it's going to be simple, and you're going to love it. So, there's only 3 things that you need to consider when thinking about getting out of your lease early. Those 3 things are mileage, need change. Need change. Not want, need. And I call it the Godfather. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So, let's just say that you have 8 payments left on your lease. Let's call it that. And then I'll talk about if you have less. But you have 8 payments of $500 per month. $500 per month. So you have $4,000 in payments left. Now, here's what happens. People usually call me and they're like, Deshaun, I have 8 payments left on my, let's call it a Jeep. Now, they'll say, I'm interested in another Jeep. Okay? So let's say I can get you that same Jeep that you paid $500 for. You can get it through Cars from Home. Let's say we get them a ridiculous deal of $398 per month. They're like, oh my God, I love it. It's the same truck. It's $100 a month less. Sign me up. Here's the problem. Your manufacturer may have a payment waiver. I want you to make a mental note of this for the rest of your life. Payment waiver. Waive. A payment waiver means payments go away. Payment waiver comes from the manufacturer, not the dealership. Payment waiver does not mean, come on in, we'll take care of those payments for you. It doesn't mean we'll eat those payments. It means the payments are waived by the manufacturer. Now here's what happens with a payment waiver program. It's specific. So it may be 3 payments up to $1,000. 3 payments up to $1,000. It might be 5 payments. It doesn't always include an amount. It might just be 3 payments on your lease. Now, if you have 3 payments up to $1,000 and you have 5 payments left if you have 8 payments left of $500, then you have a $3,000 shortfall. And here's what happens. That $398, that is a wonderful deal that they're ready to sign up for. That $3,000 has to be added to it. So you take a deal that was a great deal and it becomes a not great deal. But it has nothing to do with the great deal. It has to do with the baggage. This is what happens. Don't be fooled. Don't be tricked. Don't be naive. Payments on your lease don't disappear unless the manufacturer specifies it. And you're definitely not getting out if you're trying to switch manufacturers. Because I don't know of any manufacturer who's going to waive lease payments on another manufacturer's lease. That's usually they usually do it for loyalty. Because if they can get you out of your lease 3 months, 5 months early without penalty, then they know we have a great shot of keeping them with the brand. If your lease comes all the way down to the end, you have no baggage, now they figure you're probably going to want to look around because it's an even slate. Now, make a note of that. You might need to rewind that, watch that last couple minutes again. Because that right there will change the way you buy cars for the rest of your life. And it'll change the knowledge you have. Remember, you want to always ask, what is the payment waiver program? Okay? If they say, oh, no, okay, you know there's nothing. So, let's talk about the instances where you should consider getting out even if you don't have a payment waiver. Mileage. If you are over mileage, this is a big deal. Because here's what's happening. You're paying $500 per month, but you are actually not paying $500 a month. If you're driving over your lease mileage by $2,000 a month, 2,000 miles per month, and let's say your manufacturer is charging you 20 cents per mile, then you are driving over by $400 per month. Yes, had to do the math right there on camera. So now here's what's happening. You have 8 payments left. That means slap $400 every single month on top of your $500. And you're paying $900 a month to stay in your car. This is a big deal. Because once you do that math and you realize you're basically driving a taxi now. You're paying to drive the vehicle, but that meter is running every mile you do. That's when you look at, okay, you got to weigh the cost. How much will it cost me to get out versus how much will it cost me to stay in? And if the program is good enough, then you can get it done. Now, if somebody took the time to do a proper needs analysis with you, this should never happen. I have people that say, Deshaun, I'm weary of leases, I have issues with the mileage. It's just because no one did a proper needs analysis with you. You plan out what your lifestyle is. So, listen, everyone gets new jobs, moves away sometime. Every now and then, that happens. But that's a small number of cases. In most cases, you can plan your lease mileage well in advance and take more than enough mileage to be able to take trips and do everything you need to do comfortably. So, mileage over. That's when you think about getting out early and you count the cost. Okay? Now, and you weigh that versus what you would bring to your new deal in baggage. So if it's less than that, $900 a month, then you do it. If it's not, then you can wait. So now, the second case is need change. I'll keep this very short because this is an easy one. Forgive my handwriting. You are living a life. You bought a sports car, 2-seater. You and your wife, you and your spouse, you and your husband. Living life. Then you had twins. 2-door sports cars, no longer good. 2-seater sports car, you have to get out of it. You gotta get out of it. If there's a way you can keep it, you should keep it. If you can make it work, make it work. If you can't, then that's when you count the cost. You can't. But it's a need, not a want. Doesn't mean you're driving a sports car and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm feeling more like a SUV. No. Need change, not want. The last reason that you would ever consider getting out of your lease. And if it's not any of these reasons, the answer is no. I'm just giving you real advice. You shouldn't get out. You're going to pay. The last thing is Godfather. And what does that mean? There's an offer you can't refuse. Very simple. You remember that, right? Make you an offer you can't refuse. But the dealership does not make the offer. The manufacturer does. Which means, let's say it's December. You stroll in. You have 3 payments left. There's $5,000 in rebates that month. $5,000 in rebates. Plus $1,000 in loyalty. So you come in to get out early, they're giving you $1,000 loyalty rebate, $5,000 in manufacturer rebates. That's a lot of money. That $6,000 will actually drop your payment close to $200 a month than if they weren't there. So if those rebates go away in January, or they go down, that $5,000 goes to $2,000, this drops to $500. You just lost about $100 a month in the deal. Don't be confused. There are times where the deal is better than others. Then, I've had people say they think, oh, there's always a good deal. No, there's some months where the deals are bad. There's some months where the deals are okay, and then there's some months like this where everyone needs to come out and get the car if they're in the market for it. But here's the big thing. You don't want to do this if you have 8 payments left and you're bringing $4,000 over. Because if you're bringing $4,000 over and they're giving you $6,000, then that means hypothetically, if you waited till you had nothing, even if it was only $2,000 left in rebates, you're still a similar deal. You follow me? You got to count the cost. And this is why you need to know how much are the rebates this month. How do I find that out? Yo, how do I know? Well, it's two ways. One is you get an honest salesman. There are a lot of honest salesmen out there who will tell you we have $5,000 in rebates this month if you ask them. They might tell you without asking, but if you ask them, they will definitely tell you. Now, when you ask them that question, you want to gauge how big that rebate is. And you ask them, you think they'll do that again? If they might tell you, yeah, they do it like every 2-3 months. Or they might say, nah, it doesn't really happen. Now, in our case, the second way to do it is if you can't find an honest salesman, call a Cars from Home advisor. Because we know the programs every month, and we can look into it and determine at no cost to you, is this a great deal? Is it something you can wait on? And anyone who knows me knows there's a lot of cases where I tell people you should wait. And I'm advising them because it's best for them. You have to know if it's a great program or if it's not. And if you know that, now you can count the cost. But if if you have 3 payments left and you're only bringing over, say, $1,000 in baggage, you might want to consider jumping on that big program this month rather than wait 2 months and have those rebates chopped in half, and then you're paying $20, $30, $40 a month more than you could have paid. So this is not easy to navigate, which is why you need to watch this video. Watch this before you buy a car. Watch this before you lease your next car. Tag a friend. This is the #1 way people overspend. This is the #1 way people spend more, $50, $100, $200 more a month than they could have spent because they simply don't know this. Now you know. Become a master at it, and no one can take advantage of you. Tag a friend, like the Cars from Home page if you're on Facebook, and thanks for watching. See you next time.